even if you're like decked out from head to toe in Louis Vuitton, right? You won't look rich. I want to make this series called How to Invest or Invest 101. Consider this like a volume 1. What I know until today, I want to share with you like you're my sibling or you're my loved one. I actually plan on, and I'm really excited to read this book called Changing World Order by Ray Dalio. And I'm really excited to read that, but I have another book that I'm working on right now. So I put that on a hold, but I came about this idea to film this video. And I was like, you know what? I shouldn't let this stop because I know once I read that book, my mind is definitely gonna change a little bit. I wanna share with you what I know now. And then once I read that book and a few more experiences, I'll make another volume for this so we keep growing together. So I love the word investing. Investing can look different. It's just not about money or just growing the money to quickly like spend it. It can be in the form of mindset investment, health investment, business investment, stocks, bonds, real estate, investing in people. It just gives you that idea that if you invest in something, it'll grow. And if it doesn't show you the result right now, it's definitely gonna grow in the future. That's what I see investment as. Investment for me is not a quick gain or quick loss. It's about the fact that if I put this time or this money right now, 10 years down the line, it's definitely gonna give me something, whether that's a big, nice lesson or a nice little cushion that you can use to invest further. Stocks, real estate, they actually not only appreciate in value, but also give you cash flow along the way. So I want you to look at investment as a journey, and then on the way to your long-term time horizon, and then on the way to that journey, you reap the benefits little by little, whether that's in the form of lessons or like cash flow or good relationships. Like if you invest in people, for example, like in the form of employee or like outsourcing or anything like that, then you get the benefit of that work that's being done. For example, my editor, I love her so much. She's editing this video for me and I invest in her and she gives me this beautiful piece that I'm able to share with you guys with using her talent, which is editing. The part that I love is actually conveying that message. So I'm combining everyone's strengths and bringing a value to you guys, and I see this as an investment as well. Even though it's not producing anything, it's not giving me any results, but just by putting that piece of content out there, I know down the line it's definitely going to be worth it, helping other people out like yourself. And then my background is basically I was born into a family where my father has extreme abundant mindset. He always reinvested back all of his money into businesses that he's growing. He was always like a business grower. So I grew up in that environment where he looked at money like a tool to grow his businesses. And then when I married my husband, I was blessed as well, where he also has similar mindset. At the time that I got married to him, he was working for Tesla. So he had a lot of good things to talk about Tesla. And then when I married him, he had a fair share of Tesla stocks himself. And he used to tell me how Tesla has long-term vision and this and that. So I definitely kept that in mind, and being like a curious girl that loves to talk about finance in general as well, I always thought about ways I could grow. When we got married, in our culture, we're given like a little present on our wedding night. My husband gave me $1,000. Besides this, he gave me other stuff too, material stuff, but this was like in form of cash. And he's like, you can keep it and you can spend it if you want. I was like, you know what? Can you take my $1,000 and invest in Tesla? Because I don't even need it right now. And I would love to see where this goes. So that's 1,000 that I had. By 2018, around July, August, my husband gave me for Eid, it's like an equivalent to Christmas. He's like, you know what? I'll give you $5,000. So what do you want to do? He said either you can get Tesla shares or you can just use it on whatever you want. And I was like, you know what? I want to invest. So I invested that as well. And that combined with my $1,000 came out to be like around $64,000. It wasn't just my position that was in, so I don't know exact number. And I ended up investing more after I earned for my little business that I was doing, my makeup business that I was doing in the US, just on the side. I invested that, but that's like a little bit more big of a chunk. So I don't want to mention that. I want to show you how investing is so accessible. Coming up with $6,000 is not crazy amount. If you worked hard, even as a high school student, you can definitely come up with that number. So this is why I want to talk about $6,000 specifically. For me, it came from my husband, but it can easily come from your own pocket or you can work for it. Basically, I left it in Tesla. Tesla literally just grew like crazy around that time, end of 2019, and then in the beginning of 2020, 2020. And at that time, I was like, wow, this money just kept growing. It's because I had a long-term vision. I didn't mind if it took me 10 years for that money to grow somewhere. And a lot of people might think like, oh, you know, if she was able to do this because she had access. But that's not the case. I was just like 22 maybe. And the time when I got married, I was like maybe 20. So from 20 to 22, 23, I didn't care spending that money. And being such a young person and thinking long-term and then seeing the result really helped me change my mindset around investment. Being so young, I could have easily chosen to just use that money like a girl, like get more makeup or something. But I was like, you know what? I want to put this and see where this goes. So I had a long-term vision and it really helped me out. Why I share this number, right? Maybe $60,000 might not be a lot for you, or $60,000 could mean like a lot for you, right? You might be just thinking, oh my God, 23-year-old having access to like $64,000, that's a lot. But the thing is that it's not about the number that matters. What I'm trying to share with you and my siblings is it's all about just long-term vision, just forgetting about that money and putting aside in things that you believe in. Whether that's your business, whether that's someone that you trust in that would go places, then you can invest in that person. It could be stocks, it could be real estate, it could be anything that you have some sort of knowledge and you really trust. So when times go bad, you don't panic and you sell because that was not your goal to begin with. Your goal is to just keep going because you trust in that company. You keep going because you trust in that land. So you know it's gonna grow. Even if it's down, you know 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, it is gonna grow. Investment is trust. I don't want you guys to like just panic and sell or like try to make a quick gain, because what are you gonna do with that money? Let's just say that you have like $2,000 and you invested somewhere, so it grew to $6,000 and you made $4,000. Then tell me, what are you gonna do with that $4,000? If you just spend it all, then that's it. That's the end of that money. But if you actually invest it somewhere, whether it's in real estate, stocks, business, those things are gonna keep bringing you money and it also appreciate in value at the same time. But if you buy like a Gucci bag or like a Louis Vuitton bag, it's not gonna do anything. A Chanel bag or Hermes are considered like an investment. I agree with that, but at the same time, those are the investment maybe you can get in the future when you actually have like so much, you can get like hundreds of Chanel bags. But right now, when you are just starting out, I want you to invest that money in something that actually brings you massive returns on a regular basis, whether that's business, like I mentioned, or real estate, people, new things, or books even, you know, investing in your mind, gym, because it brings back in the form of good health, gives you more energy to work on new things, and then also mental clarity, which also helps you out coming up with like better ideas. So invest in those things. So now let's move on to the step-by-step on how you can invest. Number one is learn to earn. Once you earn, don't spend it like crazy, because you're going to be in that cycle of like just having to earn and then spend and then show off, earn and then spend and show off again to people who don't even care. It's a never-ending cycle. So what we want to do is learn to earn in different ways. And I'll make a separate video about this, and you can also Google or YouTube like how to earn. There's plenty of different videos out there, especially Alex Hormozi. I think he has some of the greatest tips to share. So definitely go ahead and search his content, Alex Hormozi. I believe that he's the one that gives like solid advice. So go and search him, try to see how you can earn more. You need to earn for yourself and then learn to earn, learn to not spend it on flashy things. If you take anything from this video, I know you must have heard of this many times, but don't ever spend your earned income on things besides your daily expenses that are necessities. So what I mean by this is basically whatever money that takes your time to be earned. Of course, we can't just stop living, right? So you can spend it on your necessities, but like never do that on flashy things. Flashy things can come when literally you have money coming in left and right from like your investments, your businesses, your real estate, cash flow. When you have so much cash flow that can keep coming month after month, that's when you can buy the Chanel bag, the Gucci bag, the this watch, the that watch, okay? After your necessities are taken care of, or if you're blessed and you have a provider, then you don't even have to worry about the necessities, then we can focus on the investment. Number two is stop worrying about how other people think of you, especially when it comes to like money. Even if you're like decked out from head to toe in Louis Vuitton, right? You won't look rich. People who are rich, they don't need to show off. They don't need to have the need to like tell you, okay, I have this bag and I have that bag. No. So don't even try and worry about what others would think, or if she got this one, I'll get this one. Get out of that race completely. Instead, like I mentioned earlier, work on building that robust investment investment system, that money keeps coming back to you. And then you can spend on whatever luxuries that you want to invest in this life. Third is very important, long-term vision. So there might be times where literally you invested $10,000 a stock or a company or a business and it goes down to like $2,000, or that business is not bringing you income. For example, this YouTube that I'm doing, it's not doing anything, but I'm not even worried because I'm not in it to make money. I'm in it for the journey, for the long-term goal and the value. I believe in this because the energy that I have, and I love to like share what I've learned. I love to share that with my siblings in general. Like in my private life, I want to learn. So how can I scale this? Is by putting it out on YouTube, and hopefully it helps out someone. And even if it makes a difference for one person, that's going to be enough for me. This investment is already paying for me because I get comments like, this is so amazing, I'm definitely going to apply this. And that alone is already my cash flow from this. So definitely be in it for the long term, the vision, because you trust in this business or the property or the land or the person or the stock or the company. So that's that. Number 4 is never buy to impress, but definitely buy your time back to focus on things that you're made for, you're talented at. Focus on things that you're really good at. Buy back your time by having things outsourced. Like for example, if I tried to edit this, it would easily take me like, I don't know, 8 to 10 hours. So I really appreciate my editor for this, and this is how you buy back your time. 5th part is don't be in love with the money, because money is just a made-up thing. It was first used like 5,000 years ago, which is not too long ago. So don't be in love with the money, but be in love with the result. What's important is your skill. So even if someone were to like take all your money in the world that you've accumulated overnight and take it away from you, you should be confident that you're able to make it like in a few years, like maybe in a year or 2 years, because you know that you have the skills to do it again and again. Financial education, that matters more than the money itself, because money can come and go, but the skills that you have and the education that you have, the talent and the skills that you have is more important to be able to recreate it several times, right? So educate yourself, educate your children, your siblings, everyone, and grow together. You should be confident, even if someone takes your money away like the next day, you should be confident that you're able to make back because you have the skill. Treat it like a game. Even if you fail or lost it all and you don't quit, you, my friend, are in the game. It's like, let's work on the mindset first, and then on the volume 2, I can share a little bit, just my experience. I'm never gonna be advising you in anything because I'm not a financial professional, but I'm gonna be sharing what I learned from this book that I'm gonna be reading, The Changing World Order by Ray Dalio. I mean, if you don't know about Ray Dalio, he created the world's biggest hedge fund company in the world. So he helps out other people, big businesses, manage their assets. So he knows a thing or two, or maybe a lot, because he's been in the industry and business for way longer than a lot of us. And I believe if someone's doing better than you, then you should always learn from them. So I really took a lot of value from his book called Principles. And so I know that I will definitely learn a thing or two from his other book, The Changing World Order. So definitely once I read that, then I'll make the number 2 to the sequel, and then I'll see you there. And if you like what I have to say, you can watch my other videos as well. My category is basically around investment, whether that's your mental or physical, anything. My intention with this channel is to help you grow. And then by sharing my successes and failures. This is not just the only little win that I had. I've had like many little wins and failures along the line. So this is an accumulation of what I've learned, and which is investing is basically, first of all, learning why you're in it. And then secondly, having the money to invest. The money part is important. You need to have either an income or like a sugar daddy income. It doesn't matter what kind of income you have. As long as you have the money, everyone has access to money, whether through their parents, husband, partner. You have access to money. How do you use it is I want you to change. If you got maybe $2,000, how do you use it? Are you going to use it just to like spend on snacks or something? Then that's not an investment. But if you're going to use it to grow it, maybe getting an iPad. This helps me a lot, like taking notes or like reading script like this. So as long as it is bringing bringing you somewhere, something is going to bring you forward in your journey, that's considered an investment. So first of all, mindset, then about having that income, and then also ignoring the urge to just spend it on flashy things or like seeking the reward faster. Oh, one more thing I actually learned from Ray Dalio's book, The Principles. He said something that be aware of your second order consequences. Whatever action we take in life, there's a first order consequence, and then there's second order consequence, and then there's third order consequences. So what he meant by being aware of your second order and third order consequences, basically whenever we take action, first order consequence is what we get the reward right away, whether that's eating snacks or eating junk food, we get the first order consequence as basically delicious, yummy hug that we get from the food, right? So that's first order consequence. Then the second order consequence is because we ate that, we end up gaining weight or becoming sluggish. That's a second order consequence. Becoming sluggish leads us to having poor health, which is third order consequence. So he said that whatever actions you take in life, always consider the second and third order consequence. And this can be applied to anything. Exercise. So the first order consequence for exercising is tough. The moment you're exercising, you're like, oh my God, like, why did I do this? That's first order consequence. But the second order consequence that follows with that is that you actually gain muscles, you start to feel strong. So that's that. And then third order consequence is you end up having better health, which helps you in the future. So this is very important. You can use this in an investment. Whenever you're spending your money, think about it like, what's the second order consequence with this? You'll always end up making better decisions for yourself. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you liked it, definitely subscribe and like, comment, share it with someone that you would love to change their mindset around investment and you care about them. So you want them to really have that foundation of investment, and share with them and then see what they say and leave a comment what your opinion is. And if you have any investment tips, I would love to see what you guys have to share with everyone. And with that, I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye-bye.